Good day, YouTube, and welcome back to the Trooper's Corner. I'm Trooper134, and today I'm going to be doing a quick install video of the Smith Industries bolt catch release lever for the Springfield M1A platform. So for those of you that are familiar with the M1A/M14 platform, you're well aware one of the disadvantages of it is that it doesn't have a bolt catch release that you can easily manipulate with your magazine loading hand. So as it is right now, you put a fresh magazine into the rifle and you either have to reach over the breech or underneath the mag well with like your left hand, and you have to manually pull back on the bolt and let it go to load a round off of that new magazine. Or the opposite of that is using your right hand and pulling that bolt back and releasing it manually, instead of having a bolt catch release that you can manipulate with your thumb, like on the AR-15 platform. So this part eliminates that. You install it and it allows you to use that magazine loading hand to just manipulate the catch and then drive the bolt forward without really moving your hands around a lot. So that's pretty cool. So when I bought the part, though, it didn't come with instructions. I mean, you don't really need an instruction manual per se. It's pretty obvious. You just drive a pin out, put the new part in, and drive the pin back in. But, you know, as with everything when you're working on guns or working on cars, it's never that simple. So there was like one video out there that was sort of helpful, and you've maybe seen it if you've been searching around. But anyways, I wanted to make a video of me installing the actual part. And I make a couple of mistakes, so hopefully you watch the video, you're like, well, I'm not going to do that. And you can avoid the mistakes that I made, and hopefully you're going to find it helpful. But I just thought maybe I would do this video real quick to help everyone else out in A, so you know kind of what you're getting into, but B, also it explains exactly what the part does when you install it on the rifle. And before we get started, I'd like to make a disclaimer. I paid for the part with my own money. Smith Industries did not compensate me in any way, shape, or form for this video, number one. And number two, before I did anything to the rifle, I made absolutely positively sure that it was empty of all ammunition and was completely safe to work on. So, without further delay, let's go ahead and get to the build. So today I'm going to be replacing the bolt catch stop on my M1A with this Smith Industries model of kind of that same piece. The advantage being that you should be able to, once the bolt locks back and you put a fresh magazine in, you should be able to, with this new piece, actuate the bolt catch and allow the bolt to go forward, thus putting a fresh round in the chamber, instead of slapping a fresh magazine in and then having to reach over and release the bolt manually, or take your right hand and release the bolt manually. So it kind of gives it a bolt release, a little bit similar to an AR-15 setup. The problem, and I'm sure some of you can see it already, is that I have this Sadlac Industries red dot or scope mount that goes over the breech. I already installed this. Unfortunately, I didn't have the foresight to to myself, hey, let's not put this on yet because I'm going to be popping this off at some point. So the problem is we're going to have to drive that roll pin out. And I'm not going to be able to get a roll pin pusher, Jesus, I'm forgetting the word, in through this side, because this is going to get into the way, and be able to drive it out. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try driving the pin out this direction. The problem is that the length of the pin is going to cause it to run up against this side of the mount. However, just by eyeballing this, it looks like I should be able to get most of it out before it starts running up against the edge of the Sadlac mount. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive it out this way, and I may take my Dremel cutter wheel and I may cut maybe just the last 1/4 inch of this off, pull this out the rest of the way. Then I should be able to drive the new pin in from this direction, and I shouldn't have to remove this. My original plan was to drive the punch pin out this way, and since the punch pin is a little bit longer than this space, I was just going to come in with my Dremel and cut the end of it off as it came out this way, and then just pull the rest of it out and then drive the new pin in from this side, because I didn't want to take my Sadlac mount off. Unfortunately though, I hit the pin a couple of times to try and drive it out, and I didn't notice this before. So in order for the pin to come out, this hole would have to be complete, and then there would have to be some kind of divot or something like that running along the receiver here for the pin to come out. So as you can see, the head of it, hang on, let me zoom in. Sorry about the camera work. As you can see right there, oops, sorry. As I started pushing it out, the pin started ramming up against the edge of the receiver here because this hole is not complete. So I'm not going to be able to drive it out this way. Well, I could. I saw a video of someone that did that, and they scratched the hell and beat the shit out of their receiver right here. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take the Sadlac mount off. So this is what I'm talking about here. Again, sorry about the... As you can see, we have a full complete hole on this other side. So the pin is meant to be driven out this way. So that's what I'm going to have to do. That's okay, no problem. I'll just take the Sadlac mount off and then drive the pin out from this direction as it should be, and then everything will be fine. So initially I started off with a 3/32 pin punch trying to drive that pin out, but the hole on that side that I was working with was just too small to allow the punch through, and I wasn't getting any progress, so I switched to a 1/16, and that was just small enough to get into that hole but still catch the pin and then start driving it out the other side. This up a little bit, buried up to the hilt in my driver. I'm just gonna grab this with my vice grips and pull it the rest of the way out. There we go. Nope, shit. Okay, right. Almost there. Almost there. A little bit more patience. Come on. Oh, God damn it. Let's pull. See if I can pull that out. Okay. All right, bent that up a little bit. That part's ready to come out. We just need a little bit more. So close. So at this point, let's do this. Okay, right there. God damn it. Boy, that's a real son of a bitch. Oh, there it is. Okay, there's that piece out. And didn't lose the spring, which that's good. Okay, so here's where we're at. I can't really come in and drive this through anymore just because of the angle of how all this is. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive it a little back this way. I'm going to cut the end off, and actually, I'll just cut the end off here and then drive it out that way and be done with it. So at this point, you're probably thinking to yourself, why doesn't he just leave the old roll pin in place, put the new lever in, and just tap it on in from here? Why take the old roll pin all the way out? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I didn't think of that. I really wish I had. Just sitting here watching the video, I'm like, man, why didn't you just use the old roll pin? It was pretty silly of me to go through this whole process when I didn't really need to. So, again, I'm making the mistakes now, so when you do this, it should be a lot easier for you. There we go. All right, so I'm just taking one of my straight slot screwdriver bits, and I kind of drove it down in here to act like a wedge to keep this in place while I drive that pin in, and then once I get it to right about there, I'll go ahead and pop it out, and it should hold in place by then anyways. So
actuates pretty good right now, so I would say we're getting that in. Fingers crossed. Just checking the axle real quick.
All right, so on an empty magazine, that should catch the bolt face like so. Old magazine out, new magazine in. Actuate that bolt up with just this lever right here. All right, pretty cool. Put everything back together, make sure it works. Oh, yeah. Okay, everybody, that pretty much wraps it up. I'm going to go ahead and leave you with a couple of thoughts before I take off here. But number one, so as far as I'm concerned, this upgrade is absolutely worth every penny and every minute that I spent installing it. Okay, it solves a significant problem with the M1A M14 platform. Installing the part is relatively simple, and you just need some basic tools. It was relatively inexpensive. I bought it direct off of Smith Industries website. I think it was like $55 or $58. And I'll leave a link down below. That being said, I would recommend, number one, if you have an M1A M14, do this upgrade. Okay, it's inexpensive and it's super easy to do. Number one. Number two, though, buy it direct from Smith Industries. I saw this part advertised on a couple of other gun websites, and they wanted like $98 plus shipping. So they wanted double what Smith was charging. That's just absolutely ridiculous. It's definitely, it's barely worth that much, but $55, that's not too bad. So anyways, with that said, I hope you found the video to be helpful. If you did, please give us a like, and maybe even consider following the channel if you like some of my other content. But anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day. This is Trooper 134 signing off, and I'll see you next time.